Okay, so imagine this scenario for a second. You've got a pyre of actual money, right? And you decide to, well, set it on fire purposefully. And there's a crowd, maybe they're even cheering you on, all because somehow destroying that money makes the rest of your money more valuable. Sounds kind of crazy, right? Like something totally out there.
Yeah, maybe like some bizarre performance art piece or something.
Exactly. But, in the world of crypto, which is often pretty counterintuitive anyway, this isn't just some weird thought experiment. It's actually a thing, a strategic thing people do. And often, believe it or not, it seems to work.
It really does. And that picture you just painted, it's actually a pretty great way to think about what we call crypto burn rituals. At its core, it's basically just permanently removing digital coins, tokens from circulation.
Okay.
You can think of it like a regular company buying back its own shares off the market and then, I don't know, shredding them maybe?
Right, taking them out of the picture.
Exactly. But in crypto, what's really fascinating is it's often not just about the economics, about making things scarce. It's frequently this very public, almost psychological play, like a digital sacrifice.
A sacrifice.
Yeah, designed to rally the community, cement that belief in the token's future. It's kind of like, well, destruction used deliberately to create value.
Okay, so that's precisely what we want to get into today, this whole paradox. Our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack it. Why would anyone cheer for destroying assets they might even hold themselves? What's the real thinking behind these burns? And maybe bigger picture, what does it all tell us about how we're thinking about value, in this digital age?
Well, fundamentally, yes, it absolutely leverages scarcity. That's the basic economic principle, right?
Yeah, supply and demand.
Reduce the supply, assuming demand stays the same or grows. And yeah, the price of what's left should theoretically go up. Think rare art, limited edition sneakers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But like I said, in the crypto space, it just seems to go so much deeper than your standard supply curve.
And it's not just theory, right? This happens. You see projects actually doing this, often very publicly.
Oh, absolutely. Take Binance Coin, BNB, for example.
Right.
Binance, the exchange behind it, they do these quarterly burns. They calculate an amount based on like their profits or trading volume, something like that. Now, they don't literally light servers on fire or anything.
Yeah, probably not.
But the announcements are big deals.
Yeah.
Very public. Millions of dollars worth of BNB just poof, gone from circulation on purpose.
Wow. Millions.
Yeah. And what's maybe even more striking is how deeply this idea gets embedded in some crypto communities.
Yeah.
You look at something like Shiba Inu, the meme coin.
Oh, yeah. Definitely heard of Ishib.
Well, its community, they've embraced burns with this incredible, almost like a religious kind of fervor. It's quite something.
Really? How so?
Well, you see fans burning tokens during special live streams they organize, people putting burn addresses in their music videos. I even read about an artist tying his album downloads to burning Ishi. Yeah, like for every download, he'd permanently destroy a certain amount. It really shows how these events become these shared rituals, building that collective identity, that belief.
Okay, so this definitely feels like it's way beyond just simple market economics then.
Yeah.
It's tapping into belief, perception, maybe even community psychology.
Exactly.
The core logic is scarcity driving value. But, like you hinted, critics must jump on this, right? They must say it can feel a bit like, I don't know, smoke and mirrors.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what if they do a big burn event and the price doesn't jump up? Or worse, it goes down. Couldn't that signal, like, desperation or that the project's struggling?
That's a really good point, and it's a definite risk. There's a fine line there. But what you have to grasp, I think, is that for many people in these communities, the act of burning transcends that immediate price reaction.
Okay.
It becomes this powerful statement, a public declaration of commitment to the long term. It signals the team or the community is serious, willing to make a tangible sacrifice now for a bigger future payoff, or at least that's the perception.
So it's about the narrative.
Very much so. It's
Right.
digital economics, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's deeply tangled up with psychology and, yeah, like you said, maybe even a bit of digital drama. It creates a story, a shared experience that reinforces why people are invested, sometimes regardless of what the chart does that day. It's almost like the currency itself is the medium for a kind of performance art.
Performance art with potentially real financial consequences. Okay, so let's try and sort of boil this down for you, our listener. We've explored this pretty wild idea in crypto where destroying assets burning tokens is seen paradoxically as a way to create value. It's often this big public spectacle, and it really does challenge our usual ideas about finance, about what gives something worth.
Indeed. And I think this deep dive really just underscores how value, especially in this newer digital economy,
Mm.
it isn't just about supply meeting demand on a graph.
Yeah.
It's so deeply woven into things like shared belief within a community, the power of symbols, having a compelling story, that digital drama we mentioned. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought for you to maybe chew on. If economics alone doesn't define value anymore, what other things? What other shared beliefs or collective rituals or even these kinds of digital performances? What else do you think might shape what we consider valuable in the future?